was created,
say hi,
but ultimately I just didn't feel that engaged with the story, unfortunately.
I love you.
So I gave it a...
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Literature Bug. As promised, still have not figured out where I want to film this year, and at this point I'm just sort of rolling with it. So today you guys are joining me at my workspace. One of the things that I'm trying really hard to do in 2019 is really make this a very personalized, comfortable space for me so that I can, what is this? Make my writing time happen at this desk. A lot of my planning happens here. All of my YouTube watching happens here. But I thought while we're jumping around the whole entire house to figure out where filming is best, I'll throw you guys here. I started decorating for Valentine's Day because by the time I get all my stuff out, I feel like Valentine's Day might be over. But we're rolling with it and I'm having fun. So, this is my desk. If you guys are interested at all in where we got our desks, the chairs that I have, or even the setup, there is one more shelf above this. If you guys are interested as to sort of what went on behind the scenes in putting these spaces together when we moved in and sort of the layout of our living room, because it is a smaller space, then I can do that as well. It could be a different video. I can show you guys sort of what writing materials I keep and what I keep on hand most. But today's video is going to be a fun one, and one that I have not done in quite some time, and that is a book haul. Heck yeah. I did recently unhaul a bunch of books. Me and Briar discovered that there is actually a little free library down the street from our house, outside of like this sort of arts and crafts slash stationery store. We found that there aren't a lot of options in there, so when we went through our bookshelves, we wanted to make sure that every book that we had, our goal was to make sure that every book that we had ended up on a shelf and not on the floor, because that's what was happening before. So we got rid of enough to fit every single book we own on a shelf, and we were able to take all the books that we unhauled and put them in the little free library for people to buy. We've done 2 rounds of that, so that means people are actually picking them up, and whether they're reading them or they're using them to light a fire to stay warm at night, I don't care. As long as someone's using them and enjoying them, I'm happy. So, with an unhaul, you gotta haul. Am I right? So, I have a stack of books here to show you guys today that I have picked up from, let's see, some of them were free, can't beat that. Some I purchased at Goodwill, some I got at the Dollar Tree, believe it or not, and other ones I picked up in Newburyport, Massachusetts yesterday at a bookstore called Jabberwocky. It's one of my faves, and it's one of the favorites of Briar and I's to go and hang out in together. And yeah, we'll just get started. The first in my book haul this time around is actually the Holy Bible. I was actually at where my fiance does his PhD, at the school he goes to, and we were walking around, he was doing something in the lab, and I saw this for free on one of the countertops over there, and thought I would pick it up. My reasoning behind it all is because as an English major and someone who loves like criticism of literature and I don't know, really just like dissecting books and different pieces, I found, and I do still find, that a lot of the older texts reference the Bible, and my problem is that I have never read the Bible all the way through, and I don't want to get too much into religion on this channel, whether I'm religious or you're religious or what, it doesn't matter to me. We're all here for books. And we're all friends, so it doesn't matter in the first place. I want to read it for reference, and I also would love to know the stories. For some, it is like the foundation of our life. So I just think it's an important text as an educated person, and also an educated English person. Just thought it was a good book to get through. I actually had someone that I work with go through and pull out different parts that she thinks that I should touch first. I've just been reading a couple pages or like one section at night as best as I can, and sort of reflecting on it and journaling about it to sort of like just to get my thoughts out. But yeah, this edition's cool. It says, like I said, you are loved. The back says, I have loved you with an everlasting love, from Jeremiah. And the first few pages are interesting. It gives what difference does it make that God loves you, different conversational pieces. It gives why you should read the Bible, what the Bible talks about, so it sort of gives you a good idea before you even get into it as to what you're getting yourself into. So picked up the Bible. It's new. I do have a leather bound copy of the Holy Bible that my aunt gave me, and that one's great to read, but if I'm going to annotate and highlight and things like that, I want to do it in one that doesn't mean as much to me, so that is why I have this one. All right, number 2 is my Goodwill find for the, I will say the month, more the week. I don't know how often I'm going to go into Goodwill. I find that Goodwill's pricing is getting kind of up there. Right now at my Goodwill, I don't know, what is that? I don't know if it's different in other Goodwills or not, but this one's, they charge $1.99 per book, which isn't horrible, but it's also not great, especially if there's like an influx and there's 1,000,001 of them. But today we actually went in there this morning with some friends, and of course I went through the book section and I picked up Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I know a lot of people that have read this. I know a lot of people who think she's hilarious. I do think she's funny, but I don't know a whole lot about her. I know that she was in Parks and Rec, because Briar's obsessed with that show, but I didn't watch a ton of it and I don't really know what else she's done, so that's kind of why I grabbed it. I love the cover. I've been really into reading, like I said in my goals for 2019, I really want to get into reading more nonfiction, memoir, sort of biography type books, as well as my YA and other fiction. So this appealed to me for that reason. I wanted to add more to my shelves, and here they are. And if you guys keep catching me looking that way, I'm just admiring my shelves at the minute, because I'm sitting close to them. I love reading about people who have lived different lives than I have, and Amy Poehler definitely has, so that'll be cool. The next are going to be the books that I picked up at Jabberwocky. I went in there saying I wasn't gonna get a ton. Calm down. I think I did pretty good. I limited myself to a couple. I did get some on sale, and some of them are for both Briar and I, so that makes a little bit more of a less guilty situation. So first is one that I'm super pumped about, and that is the Roundhouse by Louise Erdrich. And this is a novel, as is the rest of her writing. Louise Erdrich is actually an author I don't know if I've mentioned before on this channel, but I definitely should have already. She's an author that I actually was introduced to in college when I took my my Modern American Indian Literature classes with one of my favorite professors that I had ever. Her name was Professor Joyce, and she was a hard ass, but she was also hilarious, and she was super intelligent and cultured, and I just loved every part of her classes. So we actually read a couple of her books in those courses. One of them was called Tracks, and the other was called, oh fudge, give me 1 minute. See if I can see it. And I know exactly what it was about, but I'm drawing a blank as to the name of it right now. It's really gonna anger me. It followed the same group of characters, so it was sort of like a sequel, and yeah, the whole class really enjoyed it. Since those classes, those were the two that we read in those classes. Since then, I've picked up The Bingo Palace. I've picked up probably 3 others that I've found at like thrift shops or like library sales and things like that. This one I had never heard of. I want to say that it's, so it was published in 2012, which means it's not exactly new, but it's not exactly that old either. So I did pick this up. I don't know a ton about what it is about, but it does say something about revenge, and I believe it is about a hate crime involving the characters within the book. So like I said, I don't know a lot about it, but that kind of makes me more excited to get into it. Makes me more excited to get into it. I do love these olive editions. I have an olive edition of Lit by Mary Carr, and I just think they're great, and I love the pages. Ready? You can tell they're like soft and very bendable. Like I've said in the past, I love me some hardbacks when it comes to collecting and showcasing the books that I have, but nothing beats reading with a soft cover in my opinion, because I can bend it and I don't have to worry about the spine. I can crack it. I can bend the book in half. It's comfortable in my hands. It's easy to travel with. It doesn't weigh a ton. There. The next book that I picked up at Jabberwocky is called The Ends of the World by Peter Brannan. Looks like this. First of all, the cover caught my attention. Second of all, it was on sale. Third of all, I have a thing lately with the environment, issues about global warming, animals. I love watching documentaries on like the ocean. I've always loved nature. I've always loved being out in it, but lately I'm just like sucked into the realm of like what I can do and learning about what has happened in the past as far as that's concerned. And this does exactly that, or it should. I'm not ready yet, so I don't really know. But it says volcanic apocalypses, lethal oceans, and our quest to understand Earth's past mass extinctions. Dinosaurs. I always say that if I wasn't an English major, like I should have been either like a criminal profiler or like a paleontologist or a geologist. And this has a lot to do with that. We did read the first chapter and the introductions of all the books we picked up in the car yesterday for fun and for giggles. And I think I'm really gonna like it. It seems to be like pretty much put into layman's terms. There's some photographs in there. And this is actually the author's first book. So, I don't know. I think the subject matter is gonna be awesome. And I'm also just excited to see sort of what the author is capable of. Right, next, should be no surprise if you are like into hypes and everything that's exciting nowadays. The next book I picked up is sort of like a Valentine's Day gift for Briar, but the lady in the bookstore blew it, right? I go in there, I'm looking for books for Briar. I know exactly which one I'm getting. I go and get it. Briar was at an appointment, so I had time to shop by myself. Picked it up. He came in the bookstore before I got to check out, and I was like, you can't be over here right now. I have something for you, and I don't want you to see it. I told him to go to the car, right? Go to the car, and I'll meet you out there. I'm going to check out. I thought he was headed towards the car. I go to the checkout. I start talking to the lady. She gets through like the first 3 books, and then she sees the one I'm about to show you, and she's like, oh my god, do you practice like the methods? And I see Briar's head poke out from like the book section that I had just been in. Like, I don't really know. It kind of like, I don't know if I believe in it or not, especially the book part, la 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 la. And I'm like, lady, shut your mouth. This is meant to be a surprise, and now you've ruined it, and he knows exactly what the book is. So, per usual, I can't surprise Briar with a gift, and I picked him up The Life-Changing Art of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. Like I said, if you guys know anything about anything right now, you know that that's a big deal. She has a new Netflix series out. She's all about decluttering and tidying up, and it's a very big like Japanese culture thing. Like I said, I'm not going to say a lot about it, but what I will say is that Briar and I think it's very interesting. I've always been a very organized person, but I also like to have things in my house. Like, I don't like it to look empty. So sort of going through, like, we have a very small space, like I said, and so I try to keep it as decluttered as possible, while still displaying some of like these things that we have that we really love. But I think this will be fun for us to go through together. I did get it 20% off. It was originally $16.99, so that weren't bad. And it's already sold 6 million copies, so 6 million in one. It should be interesting. The last book that I picked up at Jabberwocky was one that Briar actually picked out because he is obsessed with this person, and that is Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain has since passed away. He actually committed suicide, I think within the last year, which is very, very sad. He was a very interesting human being, and I think a very genuine human being. He does also have a show that is on Netflix, I believe, or Amazon Prime. It is called Parts Unknown, and he travels to different parts of the world, experiences their culture, and also ties it back to food, which is what he does for a living. He is actually a chef. He started as a dishwasher. He's been through the whole thing. This book, not only does Briar love Anthony Bourdain, but my brother was gifted this book, I believe, for Christmas, and we saw it while we were at home, and Brian was like, I need to read that. We started reading this one in the car, like I said, and we were already loving it. He's got such a sense of humor, and it says Adventures in the Culinary Underbelly. So basically just going through all the different aspects of kitchen life, just sort of giving a glimpse to other people, whether you're a cook or not, into what the lifestyle of working in the kitchen is like. I know my brother works in the kitchen, and he's worked his way up. It's something he is very passionate about, but also has days where he hates it. I've worked in food. I feel like everyone should have to work in food, food or retail, to really get a special understanding and appreciation for what these people do, because it's incredible and it's tough. But yeah, so that will be another one that I am excited to read. The next two, guys, the Dollar Tree is stepping up their book game. I am so surprised. I would just say most of the time that I go in there, I don't bother looking at the book section because I've never really found books that stand out to me. But the last 2 times that I have been in there looking for like toiletry stuff, or like stocking stuffers, or like even today I was looking at different things I can decorate for Valentine's Day with. I did go through the books and immediately saw this guy. A hardcover copy of Big Magic, which is a book that I've raved about for the last year. I have already got a copy of this, but it is softcover, and that was one that I read, and now that I've read it, I'm like, why not pick up a hardcover for $1? There's no reason you shouldn't. So I picked up this. It's by Elizabeth Gilbert. She also wrote Eat, Pray, Love. If you guys want to know more about this book, I think in my video about writing your legacy, where I talked a lot about my memoir resources that I have for writers and readers both, but writers, you guys can get more details about this book. I really loved it. I flew through it. Very inspirational, very easy to read, and very fun. So was pumped to get a copy that I'm gonna love displaying. And the next book that I found at the Dollar Tree is A New Model by Ashley Graham. It says what confidence, beauty, and power really look like. Like I said about Amy Poehler, I know who she is, but I don't know a whole lot about her. I know that she is one of the first really big, like, not really big, like big popular wise social media presence as far as plus size models go. She's a real big advocate for self-love, and talks a lot about like weight and size, and especially like what it means for girls and for women. So I picked this up because I'll be excited to read it. It's not that long. I feel like it could be a quick read for me, and like I said, it seems this haul is a lot about adding to that memoir slash autobiography category slash genre that I wanted to get to this year, and I have no problem with that. So you guys, we've already made it to the last book. The last book that I had was actually a gift that I received last night at a after Christmas party at our friend's house, but I received this as a gift and I'm excited to look through it. I really haven't even touched the pages or flipped through it more than what I saw last night, which was really brief. It is a book all about vintage fashion. Classic 20th century styles and designs, and this book is by Audley Godfrey. Sounds like an early 20th century name, but really so excited to take a look at this. I love vintage fashion. I wish we still dress like that today in some instances, and really just how women used to style themselves, or what the oh my god, look, I can't. Anyways, I'm excited to get to this. My friend Kate, she knows me so well, obviously. We're both very into like the vintage vibe. It's something that we bonded over, and so the book will be awesome to get to. Sort of just like a tabletop book that I can flip through and read when I have some spare time. All right, guys, that concludes my beginning of 2019 the first book haul of the year. I think that it's a relatively small pile, which is a good thing because that leaves room for, you know, all the hauls I'll do for the rest of the year. I hope that you guys saw some books in that pile that you've wanted to read or you've never heard of that you'll be interested to read alongside me this year. As you can tell, today I am repping my inner 90s child, but I would love for you guys to stay tuned for next week's video. I'm going to be doing something that very much channels my love for the 1980s. It's a tag that I was tagged in by another booktuber who I absolutely love and can't wait to share her channel with you. But for now, that is all I have. I hope that you guys will give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you want to see more hauls like this. I also hope that you guys will click that subscription button and the little bell so that every time I post a video, which should be every week this year, that's the goal, you guys get notified and you can come hang out with me. Until next time, I will catch you guys later. Go Pats. Bye!